What's going on YouTube? We're back here with another video on CZN, and we're going to be doing a Typhera guide. So we're going to be going over the build you want for her in terms of save data, best partners, memory fragments, potential priorities, and obviously team comps, and do you really need to get dupes for her. So I'm going to actually start this video off differently. I actually wanted to go to the master rankings for Great Rift, because obviously you can see a lot of Typheras here, which is, you know, cool, but I also wanted to show the builds that a lot of people are using, right? So because I haven't been lucky enough to freaking get the epiphany I want for Quantum Seed, so your boy's still kind of in the gutter, right? But here you have this one where she could draw one, and if you could predict an archetype card, it will be created. And obviously generally it's going to create one archetype card, and well, it says if predicted correctly, create the rest in draw pile 1 AP. But what's so amazing about this card is it's gonna draw a card and give you AP, which is always going to be OP on CZN. Okay, any support characters that could draw and give AP from one card is always going to be super nice. So that's why I would always say it's worth building Mika, because she could give you an AP. She could, can she do 2 AP and draw? I don't know, but she could give you AP and draw with Source of Water, right? What was it, Veronica with Repose, that could get 2 draw and 1 AP. That's always going to be super nice. And now we have this character here that's also going to be able to draw and give you AP. So I always say those 3 characters are probably must builds on every season, right? Because drawing and AP is always going to be nice. So yeah, you could see that from here. Then obviously you have this form of convergence where every time you retain, you're going to be able to draw one of your archetype cards, which is dope. But yeah, super simple build, and honestly it just works. Right now I do want to see if we could find some other Typhera builds. Okay, you have this one here, perfect. So this is like a DPS version of Typhera. So you have creation and destruction is the 5-cost one with a very high multiplier, and it will go down every time you exhaust cards, which is gonna work because you have cards like Quantum Seed that could create an archetype card, which obviously exhausts. You obviously have the dual creation here, which is going to create one of each archetype card, create one of the next archetype card exhausted, and he's got a good like epiphany on this one as well. So he's able to create the archetype cards and exhaust them, which is going to get the cost of this lower, which is gonna work well with someone like 9, who's also gonna be exhausting. And I'm guessing he's gonna have repos with AP on it, right? Oh, he don't. Okay, interesting. But it's still just shield and drawing, right? And he's drawing cards of the other combatants as well. But yeah, this could also work, and it's actually, wait, hold up, this is actually kind of insane. Wait, this was only 180? Wait, 4 godlike epiphanies and he had refinements? Yeah, it's because he doesn't have a 4th copy. Okay. I knew I was tripping out a little bit. I was thinking, wait, how did bro have 4 godlike epiphanies, refinements, and only get 180? I was about to, yeah, okay. Makes sense. Okay. But yeah, this is another fun way to build Typhera. So right there and then you've seen 2 builds that work really well in the Great Rift. But I think most of the time you will be seeing builds like this, where you're going to see 4 Quantum Seeds, a Form Convergence, Dual Creation, and Event Horizon kept as well, right? And this one's a select 1 archetype card, create 1 in hand, and draw 1. You know, so you're gonna as I said, usually see these type of decks with some sort of godlike epiphany on the Quantum Seed and it being copied 4 times. As you can see from that alone, there are various ways that you can build Typhera with the godlike epiphany on Quantum Seed. So what we had this one here, I think we also had this one here, and the godlike epiphany actually reduces it to 0. And I think, what was the other one we had? It was this one, right? The second one. So that's a lot of the godlike epiphanies you're seeing is on the 3rd one, the 4th one, and the 2nd one. I feel like the 1st one could also work too. I just don't know what the god like epiphany is on this one. Is it? I wish there was a way to check in this game. But yeah, go crazy with the Quantum Seeds. So in terms of save data, I probably don't need to explain it now, because you got to see you could go quadruple quantum seeds with a godlike epiphany. And you could go with a build like that where you remove these 3 basics and you remove this and you keep these 3 cards here. And obviously form of convergence was always going to be important because it could this one has a retain where it could draw the archetype cards, but yeah, form of convergence could basically just draw your archetype cards for you. And you also saw the other build where it was more straight up a DPS build with this godlike epiphany here, where it has a really high percentage, and when every time a card is exhausted in that one turn, the cost of this will go down. So obviously if you run a certain team comp, you got a good draw, or you got other characters that could exhaust, you could really get this to go really lower, and you could hit for crazy numbers, especially if you've got Orlea in the team. So in terms of save data, yeah, you saw it there. The support Typhera, and there is a DPS Typhera. Now in terms of partners, obviously Tiana, but however you pronounce it, is going to be really good for her because she could draw the exhaust cards from draw pile. She increases the defense when the Sand combatant has activated both shield gain and heal through all the cards, plus 6% critical chance to allies for 1 turn. Yeah, it's only for 1 turn, but I do think with Typhera in a lot of other pieces of content, you're going to be able to 1 turn kill a lot of things, because she's probably going to be able to, especially if you got the draw and AP epiphany, yeah, could work really well. And you know, that 6% critical chance is always going to be super nice, right? And obviously because of her archetype cards, she's going to be able to do the shield gain and heal, right? As long as you are, you know, you've got that smooth deck with her and you're able to draw through those cards. So yeah, Tiana, really good partner. You also have Nyx from the battle pass, so if you're a battle pass person, you could definitely throw a Nyx. If not, I think Alyssa wouldn't be too bad because she's going to increase the defense. Obviously that 1 morale as well could definitely help your DPS characters, especially if you got your deck set up a certain way. So that, yeah, Alyssa could work really well. Yeah, so I would actually probably just use Alyssa instead. Yeah, if you don't have Tiana, if you don't summon for her, and if you don't buy the battle pass, I'll just say an Alyssa wouldn't be too bad. And if you gotta go further than that, I think Javon might not be bad using, because that increased defense is always gonna help. And if you do have a support Typhera, you're not technically going to be using attack cards on her, so you're going to be able to get that heal. So now we got the potential priorities. Honestly, you don't really need to invest into her priorities. I've been using her, and I guess if you're using support Typhera, you could probably keep everything here level 1 and just, you know, get this and leave everything at level 1. If you do want to build that DPS Typhera, then yeah, leveling this up, leveling this up, leveling this up is gonna be worth it. So if you're using support Typhera, just level it everything up to 1, then just go for this one right here. If you're gonna build a DPS Typhera, then I would definitely say level these 3 here. And even if you're doing the support, it might be worth just going for the defense as well, because number 1, she scales off it, and it does make you heal more as well, because healing scales off defense. And I think obviously she needs a certain amount of defense as well if you want to get that critical damage too. So yeah, potential priority, really simple. Now memory fragments, I'm pretty sure you could just go with this. If you are doing the DPS version of her, you're probably gonna go wait, what is this? Increased damage amount of justice and order exhaust cards. Okay, that's the exhaust cards, so that wouldn't work on her. So you'll probably go like 2 set, 2 set, 2 set, right? With her 2 set critical damage, then defense, then god knows what the other one, but you're probably gonna mostly be focused on defense and critical damage. Then I guess the other 2 pieces you could just use the ones that have the best crit damage ratios, so you could get that 60%, 200%, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's if you're going for DPS Typhera. Obviously if you're going for support, you could run what I have, and honestly this is just so easy to build. And obviously if you're going DPS, crit chance, order, defense works. If you're going support, you could go defense, and honestly you could just throw anything here, because the critical chance and order damage I guess wouldn't matter, right? But I just have that on because I do want to also build a DPS version of Typhera. And Manifest Ego, honestly, you don't need her dupes. She's gonna cook regardless. Obviously, her dupes can make her better, which is obvious, right? But I don't think you need her dupes at all. You could just run an E0 Typhera. I would never go for dupes on support characters, me personally. If I ever go for dupes, it's gonna be on DPS characters, you know, because if those DPS characters are already insane at E0, then just imagine them with dupes, you know what I'm saying? So like, I would honestly save my dupes for a character like Sereno or something, or whatever seasonal DPS character that comes out. Obviously, we would have to wait and see what seasonal support characters are going to be looking like and what their dupes are going to be looking like. But yeah, I would just say save the dupes or go in for dupes or the Omega codes for seasonal characters. I think that's the best way to go about it. And team comps, freaking everyone, I guess. Any DPS character she's gonna work with. Like, you could really run Typhera, a character that could just draw a lot, than a DPS character. That's the team comp, and that's how simple it is. Honestly, obviously she has characters she could specifically work really well with. K-Run, 9, obviously Sereno, right? Because all three of them are able to exhaust, and they just work really well with Typhera, especially because especially 9, because you could go for a very small deck with 9 and she could work really well with Typhera. But yeah, she's just a very good support, so she could really work in a lot of team comps, man. She could generate the AP that's needed. She could help you draw. She could buff your damage a little bit too as well, so she does everything you would want in a support, to be fair. So yeah, you could really just bang her in any team. I do think she definitely has certain teams that are better than the other ones, like I said, with 9, Sereno, and K-Run. But I think you could definitely partner her up with a lot of DPS units. But yeah, we went through everything you needed to know, and that's gonna be it. So like, subscribe, and up. Catch you guys in the next one. I'm out.